All right, this is video 2, in case I lose track of what video went in what order. All right, so, I mean, this is a really thin tape. You pull it out, you probably want a second person, you want to cut it, put it down, work the bubbles out as much as possible. If there's a tiny bubble, it's fine. Ideally, not what I have now. I know it's hard to see in the camera, but there's these like grooves here, and there's a bunch of bubbles. So what's going to happen is as you print something, it'll be a little uneven, and really this is so precise that any unevenness can cause it to potentially not print well. Okay, so I'm going to print something small here, and I'm going to try to avoid the bubbles, but all in all, we should just tear this out and try again. Not a big deal. All right, so now that we know the different parts, oh, well, let's see different parts. This right here is what calibrates. It measures, it's able to tell you how far you are from the platform. So therefore, I had to do this when I installed it for the first time. You shouldn't have to do it unless something really bad happens. In which case you have to loosen it up and move it up and down and then make sure that the distance matches, and it's all kinds of, it's so difficult, it's just annoying. Hopefully you don't have to do that, but if you do, I'll explain it over the phone. And here, this fan's just meant to cool down the filament. Okay, so now let's start the process of turning the printer on. So just, the laptop's always on the most part, but you know, it's just a laptop. Let me close all this. Oh, where's my mouse? Oh, here, we have a mouse, which you don't need to use if you don't want to, but I think I have it. I do have it connected. Come on. No, is it connected? It's not moving. Could be that this printer has been on for, just gonna turn it off like this, which is not the proper way to turn it off. I think it had been on for like months. It needed probably. Okay, so turn on printer. It is going to ask you, you know, like your username, password. There's only one username, and it's, I think, like system or ISS or something, and there's no password, so just enter. This might take a little bit, so let me see what else I can talk about while we are working on this. I worked, hopefully, so that you never really need to mess with much, but again, things do go wrong. Your main concern is to follow certain steps that will make sure that your print sticks, number 1, and number 2, that once you are done, the nozzle doesn't clog. So I'll tell you what you need to do. Ideally, this shouldn't be out. It shouldn't have been left out. This is my bag because I used it at the end of the semester and I didn't take enough time to get rid of it. So there should be a pair of scissors here somewhere. And when you're done using it, if you think you're gonna use it like right away, like the next day or something, you can leave it. But if you're like, I don't know when the next time I'm gonna use it is, you should take it off. And then there is upstairs, and I'll bring it down, a plastic bag with some silica so that you remove the humidity, or you don't let the humidity form bubbles inside the filament, which it does happen over time. Okay, so, all right, computer's on. Next is over here in the power source. I don't know if you want to move the, oh, it's already on too, but it should have been, where is it? There's something here, on and off. So, and you can see when it's off because the blades are, you know, stop moving, you see? Not moving, on, moving, it's like a fan. So you need that, and once you have those two things, technically the printer's on. It won't do anything to tell you that it's on. You can sort of peek in there, and sometimes you can see through that little hole that there are some like green LEDs that are on, but right through there, but that's not, you know, ideally you should just know that if that's on, this is on, and that everything's connected. All right, so how are we doing on time? Oh, only 4 minutes. Okay, I thought I had been speaking for longer. All right, so what you were going to use is Cura. So ideally, a student will already have a flash drive, and this flash drive will already have an STL file, which they will bring in, put it here. You should save the file in the desktop or somewhere else so that it's not pulling off of the flash drive and they can take it back in case it takes a long time. But once you do that, it'll look like something like that, like those little blocks. Those are Cura files, but we are not going to open them from here. What we're going to do is we're going to first open Cura, and this computer's old, so it might take a while. So just bear with me. Yeah, it's the little C.
Got a text a second ago.
Oh, I did? Okay, no problem.
It was in Spanish.
Of course it was. All right, so here there's a little sticker that reminds you the temperature settings for PLA and ABS. Ideally and hopefully you don't ever need to like use anything except for PLA and this roll. I don't think you'll finish this in the whole semester. Because even if I have a lot of students, honestly, those things last.
Yeah, they can't really print that big of things. So.
No, they can't print that big of things, and nor is it recommended, and I will definitely stress that. If they're going to print anything that detailed or large, they should do it at the maker's edge. That's much better printers, and it has people there to help and supervise, and this is just taking forever, so let's try that again. It's gonna open like 10 of them in a minute, but I have no patience. So, okay, so once you get the STL file and it's in the computer and you open Cura, you're gonna load like file, like open, and you're gonna bring it into the screen, and then we'll talk about what happens next. So while we wait for Cura, let me see if there's anything else that I need to mention. It's really easy to clog this, so it's important that you let it cool, and also the part will take a while to cool here. So when it's done, don't go ahead and pry it out immediately because it will warp potentially, and also it'll shred this. Oh, one more thing, I almost forgot. There should be glue sticks around here. Before you print any part, cover your surface with glue stick. It helps it stick. So like if you know where you positioned it, we're gonna just do this. And if you run out of glue stick, tell Lori. It helps with adhesion. This connects to the monitor if you ever need the monitor, but there were some settings we couldn't reach without it, but that's not gonna be hopefully a problem. So if you see here, it says printing temperature. It says 210, 215 is basically fine. These settings, please don't let anybody mess with them. They have been carefully designed and chosen. Okay, so now, next. All right, so you know what, let's stop it here and I will